What is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe, NEVERsate.com, and welcome to the exciting 4th installment of the Cheat Sheet series. A real fast, quick housekeeping and self-promotional. If you guys do want to pick up one of these t-shirts, one of the navy blue with the neon green, or one of these tank tops, which are gray with the black NEVERsate and the Atlas on the back, if you guys want to pick one of these up, you only have a couple more days. Right now, we're trying to make room for stock for the fall hoodies that are coming in, the new t-shirts. The winner of the t-shirt contest actually has already been named, so really cool, guys. Thank you so much to everyone for their entries. But right now, while we're making stock, you guys can save 10% on any of these shirts. The Suffer Beautifully shirts are still available, but these are about ready to run out of stock, and once they are gone, we will not restock them. So if you guys do want to pick one up, follow the link in the description box down below and get yourself a t-shirt. You can also get free shipping internationally and domestic if your order is over $100. Thank you, loyal. All right, now we are going to move on to the Cheat Sheet series portion of this video. And if you're new to this channel, the Cheat Sheet series, all that basically is I have in-depth videos on all of the major lifts: the squat, the bench, the deadlift, the overhead press with and without leg drive. So if you guys need a little bit more help, you're definitely gonna wanna check those out. But what this is a quick reference guide, just giving you a couple cues so you can watch this video quickly before your overhead press day, get some cues in your head that you can hopefully go in and beat your PRs with. Now, this is only dealing with the strict press. This is not involving overhead press movements involving leg drive. The rack position changes, your hand position changes, everything changes when that changes. So this is just gonna be dealing with the strict press. But let's get into it. All right, so if we start at the very beginning, I need to talk to you guys about where to set your grip. Now, this is gonna change between your body type, how big you are, how mobile you are, all of those types of things. But something I want you to keep in mind is that your arms are like pillars on a building because they're there to support weight, and you're trying to support as much weight as possible. Therefore, you should not set a pillar on a building like this. It should not be on an angle. There should be perpendicular lines, straight lines all over the place on the overhead press. Otherwise, you are losing some power output and you're leaving some pounds out there in the ether. The entire idea here is to get as much biomechanical support underneath that bar as possible. So when you start out on the overhead press, I want it in your hands with your elbows directly under the bar, if not just slightly in front of it. Slightly. But no matter where you decide to set your hands, the most important thing that I want you to remember is to squeeze the bar. You should start squeezing it before you unrack it, and you should be squeezing it as hard as possible throughout the entire rep. I want you to think about like you're hanging off a cliff by a root. That is how hard you want to be squeezing, like your life depends on it. Your body works synergistically. I know I've mentioned this on many other videos, but if you squeeze your hands, you will gain a couple percentage points on output of power. If you can't open a jar at home, squeeze the jar. You'll be able to open it. Your body works as a pattern like an electrical circuit, and if you're not closing off that circuit, you are going to lose output. So you need to be squeezing as hard as you can, no matter what, on every single exercise, whether it be pull-ups, overhead press, bench press, deadlift, it doesn't matter. Always squeeze the bar as hard as you can. Cue number 2 is to get your breath before you unrack that bar. So whenever you're in the front rack position, whether it be an overhead press, a front squat, an overhead press involving leg drive, every single breath that you take breaks you down because you're holding that weight with your posterior chain. And most people at a heavy weight, their posterior chain is not strong enough to hold that weight out in front of them. So you need to get that breath before you put yourself under load. Now, there is breathing time and there is lifting time, but the two do not get along, and do not get that confused. That goes with everything. If you are moving weight, actively moving weight, you should not be breathing. That breath should be held. Otherwise, you're denting your can and you're losing your brace and you're losing power output. So basic idea here is that I line up on the bar, I squeeze as hard as I possibly can, and I get a huge belly breath before I unrack it. Now, that one belly breath is the same breath that I'm gonna be using for anywhere between 1 to 5 reps, depending on what my prescribed number of reps per that set is. But I try to get as many reps as possible on that very first breath, because you will never get as much air into your belly in the front rack position as you would when you're not under load. So for that reason, I get my breath before I unrack, and then I go into my set. I would encourage you to do the same. But since you're holding your breath, you need to get in a hurry. For that reason, cue number 3 is a 2-drop step. What that basically means is after you're squeezing the bar and you get your huge belly breath, you get under it, you take 2 steps. You take 1 step out, the other step out, and then you drive into your press. There is no waiting between unrack and going for your rep. The strict press is pretty much the only time that I would tell you to get in a hurry rather than taking your time and getting your setup perfect. And the reason why is because you're in that front rack position and you're holding your breath. You need to get done quickly, or else you're gonna go to sleep, and then you're gonna wake up with all your friends pointing at you and laughing. Been there. So don't waste any time or energy or air Once you unrack that bar, you get 1 step, 2 step, you flex your butt. That is very important. Always flex your butt on the overhead press and then drive into it. Cue number 4 is to either flip your chin or pack it, but whatever you do, you have to get it out of the way. In any lift, it is massively important to move your body around the barbell, not the barbell around your body. You want that barbell traveling in as much of a straight line as possible, and you want it to stay over the middle of your foot no matter what the lift is the entire rep, because the middle of your foot is in line with the midline of your body, and that's where you have the most biomechanical support, and you can move the most weight that way. Now, your bar path on these strict press should go in a straight line from your front rack position to a plane in line with the back of your head, but it should travel in a straight line. The only problem is that your face is in the way. Stupid face. But with that in mind, some people can get away with packing their chin, and all that means is taking your chin and pushing it straight back, almost like you're trying to give yourself a double chin in the most unappealing way possible. However, I'm not good at that. So what I do is I flip my chin up and then bring it right back down as soon as that bar gets to the crown of my head. One of the biggest issues that I always see on the overhead press is people trying to move that bar around their face. So it ends up going in a curve rather than a straight line, and they lose a lot of weight that way, because every single inch that you move that bar off the midline of your foot, the less power that you're gonna have. And if you're pushing it out in front of your face, that is 1 inch out in front of the middle of your foot, which makes things feel exponentially heavier because you do not have the leverages or the biomechanical support. So you're going to want to push to the back of your head, and the only way that you can do that is getting your chin out of the way. Which brings us to cue number 5, which is to open the window and put your head out. So I want you to envision on the overhead press like your hands are on a windowsill. You're gonna push that thing up and you're gonna stick your head out of the window. Putting your head through the window is the only way to get horsepower back into the press. A lot of people, if you guys do a decline bench, you can do more weight than you can on a flat bench. And you do more weight on a flat bench than you can an incline bench. And you do more weight on the incline bench than you can on the overhead press because you're using less muscles. So what a lot of people try to do is lean back on the overhead press, try and turn it more into an incline bench press, but that's pretty much the opposite of what you want to do. There are some situations where you want to do that. This is not one of them, and that is not generally good for average training individuals. So what I would rather see you do is, once you start to get that bar past your nose, once it gets up to about your eyebrow type of level, I want you to start sticking your head back through that window, because that is going to bring the bar back underneath the middle of your foot, because again, you're moving your body around the barbell. You're not moving the barbell around your body. You should probably write that down. But as soon as your head gets out that window, you'll be able to properly engage your delts and your triceps again, at which time you get horsepower back in the press and you will be able to finish it. And finally, cue number 6 is gonna be, if you're going for multiple reps, I want you to get your breath up top. So like I said before, I never breathe with the barbell in front rack position unless I absolutely have to. Instead, what I do is I get my breath beforehand, and then let's say I have to do 7 reps. I will get reps 1 through 5, probably on that first breath, and then I will rest at lockout at the top of the movement. Because again, you can always get more air into your belly when you're out of front rack position, even if that means being at lockout position. So the next time that you think you have 0 reps left, I want you to pause at the top, get a couple breaths, squeeze that bar as hard as you can, flex your butt, drop in, and trust me, you'll be able to get another rep. There is no better cue that I've ever gotten for the overhead press than these. I promise you they will help you out a ton to either get a higher PR or more reps over the long run. And that is it for me, guys. I thank you so much for staying with me, and I hope some of these cues help you out. There probably will be another cheat sheet for an overhead press involving leg drive, and I'm even thinking about doing one for the bent over row. Let me know in the comment section down below whether that's something you guys would like or not. But I do thank you guys so much for the support. Remember, if you guys do want to pick one of these shirts up, or one of these tank tops up, or a Suffer Beautifully shirt, you can save 10% right now if you go down to the description box down below and follow the link to the Lowell brand and pick up a shirt. If you guys do end up doing that, do me a favor, do something cool in the shirt and tag me on an Instagram post or whatever social media you use, because I'm trying to stock some of those and start a whole nother thing just with you guys doing some amazing things in these shirts. So it is so cool to me. I'm so overwhelmed and so thankful to each and every single one of you guys. I will catch up with you later in the week. We have some massive news coming up that is showing up. I did get my MRI results, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that in a video either later this week or early next week. But Thursday we'll be having a visitor that you guys are going to be pretty interested to see. It should be a really good time. But guys, I will catch up with you later in the week. But until I do, go out, do something amazing, realize, keep working hard, be nice to each other, people. Seriously, be nice to each other. And I'll see you then.